Well, welcome, ladies. Thanks so much for those of you that are online and those of you that are going to be listening to the recording. And we're talking today about 6 figures in 6 months. And some people might think, gosh, that is too bold of a statement. But I firmly believe that it is absolutely 100% possible to grow your business to 6 figures in 6 months. Absolutely 100% possible. We're going to talk about that and how you can go from struggle and overwhelm that some of you might be feeling now to a business of ease and high profits. That's what I'm all about. My word of the year of 2015 is ease. You know that I have a business of ease. My workday, just the flow of my workday is one of ease. My relationships are one of ease. So I am all about that. So I don't know if that message resonates with them, but that's what we're going to talk about. We don't want your business to be such a struggle. So let's dive on in. Now, I know a lot of the names of folks that signed up, but there are a ton of ladies that are brand new to me and to my community. So super, super quick. I'm just so glad that you're here. I know that you're so busy. I know that there are so many different trainings that are available to you, so I just appreciate you taking the time to stop and sign up for mine. And just real quick, my name is Claire Luftman. My wonderful husband, Eric, is on the left-hand side there. We've been married for about 11 years, and that was his 40th birthday in Jamaica. And then our sweet son, Dylan, on the right-hand side there, he's 8 years old in 3rd grade here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and he is phenomenal. And I just love what I do. What I do is I help women like the woman above, where she is an in-home business owner. She's a coach, a mentor, a healer. She is so passionate about helping her clients. She also wants a highly profitable business, and she wants one that's not like overtaking her life. Most of my clients want a business that is super streamlined, that's highly profitable, that's really built around her family. So that's my passion, and it has been my passion for some time. It was definitely through a life experience. Once my son was born, maybe 3 months old, I had been diagnosed with super advanced breast cancer, like super advanced, right? It spread all through my body. It was a 1.5 years of chemotherapy, radiation, and surgeries, but oh my gosh, it was the greatest life gift. I mean, to have this unique life perspective at a young age. Well, I consider it was young. I was diagnosed when I was 35, and God whispered to me throughout that entire experience, being like, Claire, life is short. I've given you these gifts. I've given you these gifts to motivate and encourage. I've given you these gifts to teach. I'd always done that in my prior world in corporate. I'd always been in training and coaching, had my master's degree in that. And he said, life's too short. There are other women, for whatever reason, that want to get back in the home, right? They want this business of ease, and your gift is to simplify it for them, right? Your gift is to simplify this entire business building process. So it was really during that life experience that God just planted that seed of desire. At that point, it was just a seed, because I'm like, how the heck do I do that? How do I reach women that are all across the United States? And, you just take one step at a time, and I've done it successfully, and, with some ups and downs on the journey. And, again, that's why my passion is to now reach out my hand to women who want to do the same, but who want to do it in, much quicker, much easier fashion than me. And on the bottom there, that's actually a picture of our family business. My husband had always been a high school teacher, and he just left. God planted the seed of entrepreneurship and this perfect opportunity in his lap when the teaching profession here in North Carolina sort of took a turn for the worse, I'd say. And this is actually a video game store, video game lounge in our neighborhood. So we went ahead and purchased it in July, and it's been phenomenal. We do birthday parties, we do track out camps. It's been wonderful, and it's been great to apply all that I know, all that I teach, all that I've done myself, and all that I teach my clients on how to build a 6-figure business, but actually to apply the concepts to a brick and mortar store, right? This is a store, it's open 7 days a week, but I've definitely found that the concepts to building a 6-figure business is the same. Yes, the marketing strategies that we use in our brick and mortar store are different than what I use to reach out to people like you, but the concept is absolutely 100% the same, 100% the same. So I think it's actually just even broaden my experience to be able to help women of all different types of businesses. So who is this model? This model that I'm showing you where you can truly create a six-figure business in 6 months. It's not for everybody, okay? It's not for everyone. It is for the person on the left. This person who is a coach, a mentor, a consultant, a healer, she is someone who can help her clients get phenomenal results, like truly change their lives. And she does that around maybe their businesses, their health, their relationships. She's someone who has been working with clients and getting them good results, but has still been struggling a bit. They're hovering over maybe the $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month consistently, and is ready to ramp it up. Right? She wants to consistently have $5,000 to $10,000 months. Again, with ease, right? But at this point, it just sort of seems like this big elusive goal to her because she's just been hovering around $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, and that's taken a lot of work or effort. But this is someone who's like, all right, I know it's possible. I'm just not there yet, and I'm ready to ramp it up. And it's also for someone who, if you look at the bottom, if you look at this mountaintop analogy, I love to give my clients, where your clients, just like my clients, your clients right now are at the base of a mountain, and this mountain looks big to them. It looks like Mount Everest. So maybe you help maybe you're a health coach or a holistic doctor, and your clients are at the base of this mountain where they are just sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, right? They've gone to doctor, different diagnosis, just feel like they just are going to have to live like this, right, on medication, but they're exhausted. They have a hard time losing weight. They're having insomnia. They're having anxiety. They're just chronically fatigued. They're at the base of the mountain. They're like, I cannot stay here anymore. I cannot stay here. Or again, if you think about my ideal client, she's at a base of a mountain. She's like, oh my gosh, this is so much work and energy for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month. I mean, I just cannot stay here. It's like all consuming, and I'm having moments of doubt, being like, can I really do this? And your clients, my client, doesn't want to stay at the base of the mountain. They want to get to the top of that big old mountain, right? So this model is for somebody who is open to the idea of seeing how you can package your time and your expertise to help your clients experience transformations, to get them to the top of that mountain in the quickest, easiest way, right? So when I say quickest, easiest way, I could format my offering, let's say, putting together a training program or something, and realistically, it could take maybe 2 years for you to get to the top of the mountain, 2 years for you to experience a six-figure business. I mean, on average, it takes about 5 years, but let's just say, I've figured out this offer and I can get you there in 2 years. But you know what? My clients, like your clients, want to get there in the easiest, quickest way. So it's really thinking outside the box. And if I said, okay, we can create a six-figure business, it's either going to take 6 months or 2 years. It's up to you. What do you want? Right? Your clients want to get there in the quickest, easiest way. And I'm not saying that is in a way where you're shortchanging them, right? I mean, I say 6 months because that's how long it would take. I couldn't do it in a month, or 2 months. It's 6 months. So it's, again, figuring out, being open to that, and being open to knowing that the results that you're going to be able to get them, they are so hungry for, right? Like that individual that I said that is struggling with her health. She's like, this is impacting every aspect of my life. I cannot stay like this for another 40 years. Oh my gosh, that is so depressing. So the results that you can get her, where she is sleeping through the night, where she has energy throughout the day, right? She's starting to lose some weight. She just feels like, it's almost like, all the clouds have moved and she sees clearly and thinks clearly and is like, oh my gosh, I cannot remember the last time I felt like this, right? It's figuring out how you can package your time and your expertise to help her get there. And that result is something that she's so hungry for that, of course, she would pay $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for that solution to get her to the top of that mountain, regardless of how much of your personal time it takes. Okay, so it's not someone, this model is not for someone who's maybe charging hourly or per session, but again, you're charging for your solution. You're trying to figure out what is that Mount Everest that you can get your client up. What are they feeling like at the base of the mountain? What is the top of the mountain going to look like for them? And getting super creative, and how can you get them up that mountain? Like, what are the base camps up along that way? And how can you do it in the quickest, easiest way? And that top of the mountain, to get somebody to the top of the mountain, what is that solution worth to somebody? So again, you're charging for your solution. That's who this model is for. But again, you might be struggling a bit, right? I mentioned that maybe you're struggling a bit because you're working really hard and you're getting clients great results, but your bank account balance just isn't reflecting that, right? It's not reflecting your progress. It's not reflecting your passion. You're like, oh, it's a lot of work for $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, right? And I understand why too. It's like, what can be such a blessing can also be a challenge. And what I mean by that is we've got access to tons of fabulous information on the internet, right? There's a business expert for every single part of your business, right? One on creating a website, one on creating a brand, one on creating your ideal client, one on managing your time. There's an expert on almost every aspect of building a business. And there are academies and masterminds and group coaching programs and free webinars like this and teleseminars and ebooks. And so if you're anything like the mass majority of my ideal client and how I was, where we've been a sponge, right? We've been picking up as much information as we can. A little bit here, a little bit there. So you've got some things up and running, right? You've made some good progress, but it's almost like piecemeal. Right? So you've made some good progress. So maybe, you're sort of on social media, right? You've got your profile set up and maybe you're not there consistently. Or you've got a website, it looks really good and really pretty, but it might not be doing the important work, right? Driving you traffic, collecting leads. Maybe you signed up for that email newsletter system, Aweber, MailChimp, GetResponse, whatever that might be, and you plan to consistently send out a newsletter one of these days. Right, so you've got these bits and pieces, but sometimes you feel like it's a jumbled mess, right? Sometimes you feel like, yeah, it's bits and pieces, but it's not like this cohesive plan or strategy because, again, it's sort of been piecemeal the way you've been getting the information. And some of the information might even be conflicting with each other, right? One expert says you need to be marketing this way. Another expert says, no, you need to be marketing that way. It can get a bit overwhelming. I don't know if you can relate. But there's days though that you're like, that you feel like this piece, you're happy with the piecemeal, right? There's days where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so close to being where I want to be. And there's other days you feel so far away, like so far away, right? But let's forget about the struggle, because you know what, this struggle is keeping you. Again, if you're like most of my ideal clients who are starting out with $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, but I believe that if you are good at your craft and you can get your clients these transformations, right, after, again, just getting really super creative about what that irresistible offer could be up that mountain and how you're going to get known for that transformation. You are going to be known to get your clients those results. Staying stuck about where you're at now, sort of doing what you've been doing, maybe this piecemeal, or it's costing you way too much money, right? Not only your health, your sanity, your peace of mind, that sense of peace. It's not good for our business to stay on life support. It's not good for us. It's not good for our family. It's not good for our clients, and it financially is costing you money, right? Every month that you stay stuck, you're at least losing out on $5,000. And that's conservative. So let's say, in a year, where unfortunately most business women don't make significant progress in a year. They work, right? They're working, but and they're working hard, but it's not, they haven't made significant progress. Their business is still almost piecemeal. Their business is still not quite this cohesive whole. If you think about in a year, again, conservatively, you've lost out on $60,000, money that yourself and your family need. So enough about that, because let's forget that. That's in your past, because my personal belief, like I said, is there's no reason, if you're good at your craft, if you're open, just open to the idea of seeing how you can have a high-end offer, right, where you truly combined your education, your experience, your life experiences to help clients get up that mountain, and you are open to that idea of a higher end offer, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, there's no reason why you shouldn't easily have a six-figure practice right now. Again, your clients, there's people that need you, and they need you now. They want this problem fixed. So I have no doubt that you're meant to make incredible money for your gifts and talents and to be phenomenally successful, on your own terms, doing it your way. All right, so hopefully you truly feel that authentic belief that, ladies, it should be such a no-brainer. You are smart, you are passionate, you are a hard worker, right? So let's get ready to ramp up your business. Let's get your marketing message out there big time. Let's start helping more and more of your clients. You can so do this. And you can get there, right? I talked about how you're at the base of the mountain and you want to get to the top of that mountain. That business that is consistently bringing in 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. You're working with your ideal client. It seems like this steady stream of new ideal clients that are coming into your business. You've got systems that feel right to you that are just happening to bring these ideal clients to you. You're getting your ideal clients transformations that they are standing now at the top of that mountain. And it gets to be a point in your practice where I so see you not even having a huge need to market, where 80% of your clients either repeat or mainly word of mouth. You're going to have clients, when you get them to the top of that mountain, that they're going to stand on that top of the mountain, they're going to put their arms up in the air, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, thank you. And they're going to turn around that mountain and tell everyone, shout from the rooftop, shout from the mountaintop, you need to work with Helen. You need to work with Jane. The more people you get up to the top of that mountain, oh my gosh, your business it's just totally transformed. So again, on average, it takes a service-based woman entrepreneur, right? Again, one like you and me, who are packaging our time and our expertise to help folks solve problems and get them to the top of their mountain. On average, it's taking at least 5 years. But again, I'm saying that many of you on this call, forget that. Take 4.5 years off of that journey. From this point forward, in 6 months, you can so get there. So let's talk about these things today. Let's talk about why you might not have, why don't you have all the money and clients you want? Even though you could, even though I believe in you, even though you could, even though it should be such a done deal. And how you can have your dream practice more effortlessly than you could ever imagine. And let's talk about the mechanics behind a six-figure practice, right, for that steady stream of new ideal clients and consistent high-income months. And then lastly, let's talk about how to run your business like a well-oiled machine so you can achieve more in less time. I don't know about you, but many of my clients, like myself, want to work their business part-time. For me, I just want to work during the day while my son is at school. So we want our business to run like a well-oiled machine. All right, let's dive on in. So why don't you have all the clients or all the money that you want? And ladies, my answer is not going to be, well, you just haven't been working hard enough. My answer is not going to be work harder, just gain more experience, just do more, create more products, create more offers. That's not going to be my answer. My answer is that it's because of your mindset, like your true belief that it's possible for you to have the six-figure practice, right? Ask yourself that. Is it a belief that you can have this six-figure practice? Or is it just something that you're like, oh, it'd be nice, it'd be cool? Or is it like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen, like completely, this is a done deal? And part of why we don't have the clients and the money is because we don't have a strong profit funnel. I'm going to show you what a profit funnel is. And then lastly, it's that they're broken systems. They're sort of keeping you in overwhelm. So ask yourself, which of these might relate? Is it this negative Nelly, sort of these limiting beliefs that are holding us back? Is it that we don't have the mechanics, a strong profit funnel, or is it that we have broken systems? And for many people, you might be saying yes, yes, and yes, all of the above. But I can tell you that 80 to 90% of your success is happening between your ears. Is your mindset. You know, I can have two business owners. Let's say they're both health coaches, and they both have all the mechanics of a business. They've got a wonderful marketing plan. They've got their systems in place. They've got a great offer. Right? There's no reason they shouldn't succeed. And one runs with it, and one sort of gets tripped up on her negative Nelly limiting beliefs. Because 80 to 90% of your success is happening between your ears. So let's talk a bit about that, right? Because lack of money or lack of clients is not a circumstance. It is a result. It's because of our mindset. So exactly what's going on in our business right now is because of our mindset. And when I first started my business, I didn't even explore learning anything about my mindset. You know, it wouldn't have even been something that I was open to hearing. You know, I'm like, what? What do you mean it's my mindset? Of course I want my business to succeed. Of course I believe that I can make this happen. But oh my gosh, there's so much going on below the surface in our subconscious mind that we're not even aware of. So we are the reason for our results, positive and or lack of results. And here, this is from a wonderful book. It's called Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks. It's actually a husband and wife. Their last name is Hicks. And be thinking about in your business, when you're thinking about your business, let me get my little pen here. When you're thinking about your business, are the majority of your emotions on the left-hand side here? One of complete, trust that it's all going to work out, faith, positive expectation, this is a done deal, you're just feeling grateful? Or are the majority of your emotions where it's like overwhelm, oh my gosh, doubt, am I ever going to do this, right? Insecurity, oh my gosh, who am I? Who am I to do this? Who am I to be teaching them this? Now, when we spend the majority of our emotions on the left-hand side, the money is coming into our business, the ideal clients coming into our business. When we're spending the majority of our time on the right-hand side, we say one thing, but our emotions and our limiting belief is saying something else. So when there's that conflict, we're going to get poor results at best. So read this book. It's been phenomenal. I've been on my own journey probably the last year and a half. And for me, it was a bit of a challenge initially to sort of embrace the concept of, law of attraction, and as a strong Christian. So I'm not saying for everyone it's the easiest journey, but it's a journey worth taking. So at this point, just read as much as you can and just sort of check into your emotions. Are you spending the majority of your time on your left-hand side or on the right-hand side? And when you catch yourself on the right-hand side, find a way to shift that emotion back. Like, what can you be grateful for in your business? Can you be grateful for, what? I'm grateful that I don't have a 9-to-5 job. I'm grateful that I've got this nice, dedicated office space. I'm grateful that I've been working with great clients. Like, really to feel that and to shift that is really, really important. And another thing to embrace is there is a limitless supply. There are enough clients and enough money for all of us. For all of us. There's a limitless supply, but a lot of times the limits are self-imposed. So ask yourself, have you ever thought these things? Oh, my clients won't pay for that. Maybe you thought that when I threw out, what about having an offer, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 offer? Did you think, oh, you don't understand, Claire. My clients won't pay for that. They won't invest in themselves. Or I don't like to sell. Who do I think I am anyway? I just need to learn more. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. I'm too disorganized. I'm too whatever, fill in the blank. This is going to stop you in your tracks. Again, it wouldn't matter if you have the best profit funnel, right? That killer marketing plan and this offer that's irresistible. If these are either your thoughts or your deep-seated beliefs, it is going to crush your business. And again, when I first started hearing about this stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so, like do 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 do. But it is absolutely 100% truth. So again, just sort of acknowledging your emotions or your self-limiting beliefs so you can get past it. So you can have that deep-seated belief that this is a done deal, right? That God wouldn't have planted this seed of desire for an incredibly successful business for no reason. He's not messing with you. That you absolutely 100% can do it. And that all of the people, the resources, the tools will be provided to you along the way. So gain that belief in yourself. For me, one of the best ways is I have a morning routine. Part of it is that I listen to affirmations. And these are, I say affirmations, but it's a recording of me, talking to me, painting a picture about how fabulous life is at the end of the year, in my business and in my life. And I hear that over and over and over again. It's just part of my morning routine that I do 7 days a week. And it's such an enjoyable experience, right? I look forward to that. And it's these simple disciplines, ladies, that when done consistently will get you where you want to go. And they're these simple disciplines that are easy to do and they're easy not to do because they're not going to be urgent, right? No one's going to be like, I can't believe you don't have a success routine, a daily success routine where you're working on strengthening your mindset. Nobody's going to say that, right? But it's so important. Again, you find a way that works for you. It doesn't need to be in the morning. Maybe it's the night. You just find some way to be your biggest cheerleader and doing it in a way that feels authentic and that doesn't feel like corny, right? And there's so many different ways to do it, but it's so important. So that's why we don't have all the money and the clients that we want. One thing I wanted to share is I had, I mentioned sort of going on my own journey. About a year and a half ago, I went to this money workshop, and they had us sort of brainstorm. When you think of wealth and rich people, what comes to your mind? And I was sharing things like greed, stingy, selfish, and I'm like, oh my gosh, when I was done with that, I was like, why do I have those beliefs about wealth and money? I didn't even know where it came from. I mean, we always had money growing up, not a lot, but we always had enough money for, college or vacations. And do you think that was keeping me stuck in my business? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so how can you have your dream practice more effortlessly than you could even imagine? I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask that you continue this exercise after this webinar. If there were no limitations, no negative consequences, what would your ideal, perfect, average workday look like next year? What would that be like? What time are you waking up? What are you doing in the morning? When do you start your workday? Where are you working? Is it your current office? Is it a new office in your home? Are you physically going to an office? What does that look like? What does that feel like? How are you interacting with your clients? Is it face-to-face? Is it over the phone? Is it via Skype? What's your day like? What are the things that you're working on that day? And then when do you wrap up the day? What does your evening look like? How are you winding down the day? And one of the biggest success habits you can gain is to now see that perfect ideal day over and over and over again. See it, feel it, where it truly becomes your new reality. And for many, I know it's difficult to do at first because their negative Nelly is just so used to being so darn loud. And I like to trash talk my negative Nelly. I say, get out of here, and you just get really good. I mean, part of, when I was mentioning my audio affirmations, the recording, part of that is where I sort of paint a picture of what my day's like. And I always like to think of this almost like Groundhog's Day, where if it was a day that you were to do over and over and over again, you would not get bored. You would still be a happy camper. So many women don't even know what that perfect ideal day is. If we don't know what that is, how the heck are we going to get there? Right? And that we're building that perfect ideal day around your life. If you like most of my clients, you want a business that is family focused. It's super streamlined, so you could be doing it in part-time hours, right? Maybe 20 to 30 hours a week, yet it's highly profitable. So it's like that sweet spot business model. And I think sometimes we're not doing ourselves justice when we aren't super clear on what we want and start really putting some boundaries, really being, I don't want to say selfish with your time, but really putting boundaries, saying yes to you. And what do I mean by that is, some of my clients, if I'm like, okay, tell me about that perfect ideal day, and they might say, well, but if clients need to work, meet in the evening, I could do that. And I'm like, but do you want to do that? Like, set up your business model around your sweet spot business model. I mean, I can tell you, like I mentioned, how I only work with during the day, so I only do my mentoring calls during the day, not nights and weekends. And to me, that's really important. And some people were like, but gosh, Claire, you're going to be losing out on business, right? There's a lot of people who are growing a business and they're working another job and they can only work nights and weekends. But I made that decision when I started my business. And it has not hurt my business at all. It's actually only helped. Again, not only is it allowing me, now my business is built like that, my clients know to expect it, but one thing I found out is that I was attracting clients who not only respected it, but who that was their desire as well, right? They're like, that's what I want. I want a business where I'm not just like at my client's beck and call. So when you're creating your perfect ideal day, it's your perfect ideal day, right? Remember it said no limitation. So whatever this is, remember, it's not going to limit your business. It's you just figuring out what is it that perfect ideal day looks like. And another way for you to build this dream practice, right, this six-figure practice of ease, is to figure out how to quicken your own path up that mountain, right? We talked about that mountain. You guys are at the base of the mountain now. You want to get to the top of the mountain. One of the quickest ways to quicken your path is what we mentioned, that strengthen your mindset. I've got a little dump truck there because think about it, it's like part of clearing out the gunk. I mentioned how I didn't even realize some of those limiting beliefs I had about wealth, that people were selfish and greedy. And I mean, I have such a paradigm shift. If you were to ask me about wealth now, I say it's about generosity. It's about having plenty to spare and share. But I had to clear out that gunk, right? First, I had to be aware of what was there. And then part of me, my morning routine is focus on strengthening that mindset and making sure the emotions that I'm feeling about my business and my life are on that left-hand side of the column that I showed you, that left and right-hand side column. Another way to quicken your path up the mountain is the sooner we can become comfortable with the messiness of a business. I mean, I'm sure you have felt it many times that it's like you're riding this roller coaster. There's days you love your business and things are great, and there are days you're like, oh my gosh, can I ever do this? And many times it's because we don't know, we're not going to have all the answers. We're not always going to know what's going to work for our business. Excuse me. It is becoming comfortable with the messiness. We just keep putting one foot in front of the other. We're going to get to that top of the mountain, right? We don't want to sit down. We don't want to second guess ourselves and like be going in circles. We just do what we can. We put one foot in front of the other. And lastly, to quicken up your path up the mountain, that trek up the mountain, is when you are at the point where you're ready to ramp it up. You're like, okay, I'm ready. I'm just hovering around the $2,000, $3,000 mark. I'm ready. Let's bring in, $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 a month. It is to find one expert to hold your hand. Remember, we talked about how many people feel like they have this hodgepodge of information because they've been a sponge from lots and lots of people. And I feel like that's important, to be that sponge from lots and lots of people, right? You're going to really hear what resonates with you. You're going to keep it. Whatever doesn't resonate with you, you toss it. But again, when you're ready to really ramp it up, when you're ready to put all the pieces together, just get that from one individual. So it can be this cohesive whole. It's going to make it happen so much quicker for you. And there's so many great coaches and mentors out there, okay? So make that commitment to yourself. So now let's talk about what are the mechanics behind a six-figure business, a six-figure practice, for a steady stream of new ideal clients and consistent high-income months. So I want to introduce you to the profit funnel. There's really three parts to it. It's to have a strong profit funnel, all parts of a profit funnel up and running consistently. And I can tell you that women that I meet at networking events, when I have a conversation, I hop on the phone with a businesswoman to talk about her business, or a brand new client, 90% of businesswomen right now, again, they've got bits and pieces, but when we take a look at their profit funnel, it's non-existent. They've got some parts, but it's like they don't have all three parts. And when we don't have all three parts, it's just not running on all three cylinders. And part of that's this high-level transformational offer that we're going to talk about, and how figuring out, making that commitment that you're going to keep more and more of your profit. It's not how much you're bringing in, it's how much you're keeping. So that's how you can have a six-figure practice. A strong profit funnel, a high-level offer, transformational offer, and keeping more of the profit. And it's not built on fads. It's built on fundamentals. I could tell you I'm not one that's always out there in the shiny object and what's the newest and latest and greatest. Folks that are focused on that, that shiny object syndrome, get stuck. They get stuck. I'm all about the fundamentals. How you run a business, and less is more. Truly. Less is more when it comes to marketing. Less is more when it comes to a six-figure practice. The more simple it can be, and you just do that, and you do that consistently, that's how you get it, ladies. So let's talk about a profit funnel. Let me grab my little pen over here. And as I'm sharing this, I want you to be thinking about which parts of your profit funnel might be non-existent, or maybe you have a big old hole in your profit funnel and your leads are leaving. So this is the profit funnel. We want lots and lots of your ideal clients being exposed to you every month, right? These are people who don't know who you are now, but through some of your marketing, they're going to hear about you, and they're going to come into your funnel. When I say come into your funnel, that means you're essentially, for lack of a better terminology, going to get their name and email address. But in order to do this, we need to be so clear about who our ideal client is, and have a brand and a marketing message that is super compelling. And when I first started in my business, my ideal client, I even like to give like an ideal client character. Her name was Overwhelmed Olivia, and she was overwhelmed. She's like, oh my gosh, it's like information overload. I don't know if I'm coming or going. I feel like a chicken with her head cut off, and I am just overwhelmed in my business. And now my ideal client, a lot of times your ideal client will evolve. It'll evolve, especially as you keep getting your ideal clients better and better results. My ideal client now, her name is Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda. She's a health coach. She lives in a different state than me, in Virginia. She has 2 young children, and she is, like I mentioned, she's hovering around, $2,000, $3,000 a month. And she's like, am I ever going to get there, where it's not this feast or famine, where it's consistently $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month that's coming in. And again, it just feels like I'm running this business of ease, and I love my clients, and my clients are getting phenomenal results. So that's my ideal client. That's who I help. She is at the point where she's bringing, like I said, $1,000, $2,000 a month, right? That's a what? That's a $20,000 business. She's wanting a $100,000 business, right? So you figure out who your ideal client is, and you speak directly to them. Even though, again, some folks feel like, oh my gosh, but I don't want to do that. I can help everyone, and I can help anyone. And I'm not talking about who it is that you're going to service. I'm talking about your marketing. Where you're going to spend your limited marketing time and energy is to attract your ideal client. So I want to attract my ideal client that Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda through an authentic marketing plan. I don't know if any of you actually have a plan. You've gotten pen to paper, and you've figured out what your strategies are going to be. And again, I'm big on less is more with marketing. I recommend my clients just get 3 core strategies. That's it. And you get really good at them. You get them where they're happening. You've got systems around them. They're automated as much as possible. And where every month I want hundreds of new Ready to Ramp It Up Rhondas to come into my funnel through my marketing plan. So you ask yourself, where is my ideal client hanging out, where he or she's open to hearing my message, and it's a strategy that feels right to me. It feels authentic, and it's something I can do consistently. So for me, my 3 strategies are: 1 is live networking. I actually lead my own women's networking group. We almost meet weekly. We meet together two times a month for what we call a think tank. It's a really rich business discussion, dialogue. It's phenomenal. We get together once a month casually for coffee and once a month casually for wine. So I actually lead that group, get tons of clients through there. My second strategy is online. Now, again, live networking, why is that a great strategy? Because that's how I can meet Ready to Ramp It Up Rhondas. Now, another great place is Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda is online. She's on Facebook. She's probably spending way too much time on Facebook, right? So it'd be wonderful for me to show up in her news feed with something that I'm doing, right? But again, she's on the computer. So she's on the computer. She's in front of Google. She's typing in, how to find more clients, how to create a marketing plan. I want something that I've created to come up. So I want to have an online presence. Right, so that online presence, that social media, and me blogging consistently is my second strategy online. And the third thing is, my third strategy is content marketing, giving away content. My ideal client, she is, like I said, a sponge for information. She loves free information especially. So how do I do that? I do that through what I'm doing now, a webinar. Right, I do in-person complimentary workshops here in Raleigh, North Carolina, to fill my funnel. I also do things like giveaway events, right, where I'm giving away free gifts that people can instantly download and maybe hear a training video that I've done on, let's say, how to market with ease and authenticity. So that's a third strategy, is I attract her by giving away valuable content, and she now comes into my space. So that's super important. It's also super important that your marketing strategies, that you have what I call these rinse and repeat, where it's almost like you open up the floodgates. In that, I mentioned about networking events, and it's phenomenal. Again, it's such a great way for me to grow my business. I always have a sign-in sheet there, right? So all the guests they'll enter their name, and I'll say, I would love to keep in touch with you. I'd love to send you my Thursday, actually now it's Friday, my Friday training e-newsletter. Would you like to receive it or not? Yes or no. So that's a list builder. Also, just a lot of people after the meeting might be like, Claire, I just love to find out more and see how you might be able to help. I'd be like, absolutely, let's just hop on the phone and let's talk. And so that's what I call more of a drip strategy, right? I'm not adding hundreds of people to my list with networking. Super effective though, because the speed or the time between me being able to meet somebody and them signing up to become a customer, a client, is a very short window. They meet me, we hit it off, and they're like, help me. Versus some of the other strategies might be a little bit longer of a cycle. Like, let's say, doing a webinar, right? There's so many new people that are now on my list that I've never met. We've never met face to face. You guys are in all different states. So some of you, if you're ever wanting to work with me for mentoring, again, it might just take a little bit longer of a cycle, but before you get to know me and become a client. Not everyone. Some people are ready to get married right away. You've been looking for a mentor. You're like, oh my gosh, Claire, you are so describing me. But when I say open up the floodgates, that's more like doing a webinar, right? You do a webinar and you can get 100 new people added to your list. So when you have your marketing plan, you want your 3 strategies, but you do want to make sure just a couple of those strategies allow you to consistently add, hundreds of people to your list. All right, so marketing is one. So be thinking about if that's a really strong part of your funnel or if it might be lacking a bit. The second thing is having a keep in touch strategy. So I always like to say that we're dating, right? So just to be authentic, just to be transparent. If somebody comes into my funnel through something like this, a webinar, well, now we're going to start dating, right? Now I'm going to start building a relationship with you. You're going to start receiving my Friday email. I always do it as a video, like an encouraging video, and just to break down this what can seem overwhelming concept of growing a 6-figure practice. And we're going to date. And some of you, again, you're ready to get married right away. And you want to become a client, right? And you go down to this phase, you become a client. Many of us might date. We might date for a year. We might date for 2 years. Some of you are going to want to break up. Some of you are going to want to unsubscribe right away. And that's all great. The thing is, we need to have this keep in touch strategy. If we don't have this keep in touch strategy, you're losing dollars. So if I go, let's say when I do a workshop in Raleigh, right, and I did a complimentary workshop, and let's say, I normally have let's say 25 people there. If I just did that, and that's a lot of work, right, getting the 25 people there, let's say, putting my presentation together. So many people spend all their time here, and then they forget, oh my gosh, those 25 women, what if only one was ready to be a mentor, right, to be mentored? What about those 24 women? You're losing out on that opportunity if you're not dating them, keeping in touch. So do you have some type of consistent keep in touch strategy? This involves an email newsletter, and it also involves little things that you can do to just love on your clients. If you don't have this, you have a big old hole in your business, and you work so hard on marketing, but they're all sliding out of the funnel before they become clients. Okay, the last part of the funnel is that you have this irresistible offer, that you have been able to figure out how to package your time and your expertise, that you are helping people get to the top of a mountain that they want to get to, right? This is the result that they are hungriest for. They're like, really? You can get me there? Great, let's do it. And you convert them in one of two ways, right? Either the copy on your sales pages is doing you justice. Most people, it's not. Most people, it's just logistics, right? It's just I can help you with these things, and we're going to talk every week for 60 minutes, and it's $100 a week, right? That's not doing you much justice. So it's either a sales page that's built on the science of the sale, or sales conversation. So let's say you're a health coach and you offer these complimentary wellness assessments. You hop on the phone for 30 minutes and you talk about sort of what their health challenges are, how they want things to be different. You give them some things to consider. You breathe belief into them that, if you really believe that this is curable, or that there's something that can be done to help them, you breathe belief into them. You let them know, what, you don't need to suffer. And if your offer is one that you believe can help them get there, you extend the offer. If they feel like that's the right offer to help them close that gap and they're ready, great. If not, great. So do you have these sales conversations? Do you have this easy mechanism that people can sign up to talk with you? So that's the profit funnel. And again, many people realize that they've got lots and lots of, that it's just not well constructed, that their profit funnel is struggling. It really, they've got holes, it's clogged or non-existent. Until you have this profit funnel and it's flowing like a well-oiled machine, it's nearly impossible to have a highly profitable business. To have a six-figure practice is also about, like we mentioned when we kicked off this webinar, it's about having this high-level transformational offer, right? That what is that mountain you can help clients get up? And again, if you help them with their business, with relationships, with their health, with their, with the way they think about themselves, you're helping them get past hurts. That's a big deal. So you're not just giving them information. We're not talking about information products here, right? Information products is not what my practice is all about, because information is great, right? And I use information as a marketing strategy, but we know that 97% of Americans don't do anything with that information, right? They're like, oh, that's cool, that's interesting, or maybe they give it a try and they stop. 3% are going to take that information. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold their hand and you're going to walk them up the mountain. You could do it in different ways, one-on-one, small groups. You're going to walk them up the mountain. You're going to get them these results that are transformational. And again, you're going to do it in a way where you get them there in the quickest, easiest way, giving them no more and no less than they need to get the results that they're hungriest for. And like I said when we started out the presentation, when I think of my ideal client who's at the base of the mountain and she wants to get to the top of that mountain, and most of my ideal clients, they define that top of the mountain as a six-figure practice, as a six-figure business, where they are working about 30 hours a week and where it's not this overwhelming business, right? It just is a business of ease. So again, I have figured out over the years, right, how do I get her there in the quickest, easiest way? And it's really, like I said, thinking outside the box. Like when my mentoring clients, they get access not only to me as I'm walking them up this mountain to get to a six-figure practice in 6 months, but there are people on my team that I have strategically put on my team to be this ultimate solution for my ideal client, right? They have access to a web designer as part of walking up the mountain. A web designer who can either adjust their website, so their website is SEO optimized, it's lead generating, or even create a brand new website from the work that we're doing as we're creating this compelling brand. I've got a virtual assistant. They have access to my virtual assistant. So let's say she's creating a newsletter. She's getting a newsletter up and running for the first time. Virtual assistant will do that for her. I've got an SEO expert, so the business owner can get a blessing on, yes, these are your keywords. This is how you SEO optimize a blog post. This is how you SEO optimize a YouTube video. She has access to a profit-first strategist to make sure that her bookkeeping is set up so that she keeps more and more of her profits. She has access to a copywriter to make sure her sales pages are written like a pro. So again, you see how that's really thinking outside the box, right? Because if my sole purpose is to help get my clients transformations, how can I get her there in the quickest, easiest way? And again, for me, I've sort of assembled this team. That might not be the way that your offer looks, but can you start seeing the possibility? And again, then you get to be known as the woman who can get them their transformations. Most of my new clients now are coming from their referrals, right? I've gotten enough clients that they're at the top of the mountain, they're already shouting down, you got to work with Claire. You got to work with Claire. You can do that. That is so possible for you, okay? So again, it's about getting creative. It's about making your offer so irresistible to your ideal client. That's why this goes beyond information. This is about getting them results. This is about helping them implement. It's about thinking outside the box, right? How, again, another way that when I do mentoring now, it's with a mentoring circle, and I only work with 3 women in that circle. And again, it's so that it's the best of both worlds of what's out there. They get that complete one-on-one attention. They feel like they've got their own mentor. They do have their own mentor, right, but their own business partner for 6 months. But they have the benefit of going along this journey with 3 other folks. So it's like the best of both worlds, that one-on-one attention, the benefit of a group. Again, being their one-stop shop. And then another thing that I offer my clients is every 3 months, we do this workshop. We'll be doing it every 3 months in Raleigh, and it's a 2-day, it's called a Get Her Done marketing retreat. And my client's able to come, and we're opening it up to folks outside of my mentoring as well. But they're able to come and create their marketing for the upcoming 3 months, right? Their social media posts scheduled, their videos shot, right? Videos taken for YouTube, their blog posts created, their newsletters created, and at that event, they also actually have access to these experts, right? To do some of their editing, to actually take their pictures, to take their headshots. So that's a bit outside the box, right? They get 1 free ticket to a Get Her Done workshop. So be thinking creatively. We want to take as many people up the mountain successfully and make it as easy as possible for them. And it's about the transformation, not the money. When I say that, of course, I'm all about creating a highly profitable business. When I say that, though, some of you might have the same, you maybe can relate to what I'm saying here about how, for me, I wouldn't feel good about just offering something that I know 97% of the people are not going to do anything with. For me, my heart is to help impact as many women as possible, transform their business and their lives. That's what gets me jazzed up. So again, that's who this model is for. It's definitely not for everyone, and again, there's nothing wrong with the information. Having information products, that business model. There's nothing wrong with, having a product business model. There's nothing wrong with doing, really, really big groups. Nothing. It's just what feels right to you. And whatever feels right, there is a way to build a successful business around it. So let's look at the numbers. So let's say that you too want to build a six-figure business. So let's say that's bringing in that's $8,500 a month. That's over a little bit of, that brings you right over the 102,000, right? And let's say you got so good at getting people up that mountain, you know, and 3 clients a month. Let's say it's $3,000 because the results that you can get them are so phenomenal. That's $9,000 right there, just 3 clients a month. So some of you, your negative Nelly might be loud and be like, what? I can't charge $3,000. You can't charge for what? We're not talking about charging for your time. We're talking about charging for getting them up the mountain. And maybe you can't right now see it, but is it possible? Yes. Oh my gosh. And it's a simple business model, right? No big launches, no big stress. And what's wonderful too is it causes us to up our game, right? If I'm asking for $3,000, let's say, to work with me for 6 months, man, I better deliver. I better get them up that mountain. So it has us so rethink the way we offer our services, which is a win-win-win for everyone. So again, just imagine becoming known as that person who really gets people results. And last but not least with the six-figure practice, it's about keeping more of that money. So many businesses are on the brink of bankruptcy. They're a couple of bad months away from bankruptcy. Even an entrepreneur you saw in Entrepreneur Magazine. So ladies, I'm encouraging you to get this book. It's called Profit First. Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. Get it. It's an easy read. My undergraduate was in accounting, but you don't need to have an accounting degree. This is written for, I don't even consider myself like an accountant. It's written for the layman, and it is a game changer when it comes to how we manage our money. This is how I manage for both businesses, the brick and mortar and for my personal business. So again, that's how you get a six-figure practice, a strong profit funnel, that high-level transformational offer, and learning to keep more and more of that profit. And last but not least, you then want this business to run like a well-oiled machine. So it's really, how do we manage? How are we managing our time and our calendar? How are we managing our stuff? How are we managing our repetitive tasks? So with your time and calendar, I'm always big about creating like this ideal schedule around your ideal schedule and getting some pen to paper and doing that. I'm big around creating what I call a weekly sanity meeting. It's my Monday mornings from 9 to 11, and I get sane. I get caught up from the prior week. It's just like I just create my game plan, right? I get my emails down to 0. I get any papers that are on my desk put away. I take a look at what I've got upcoming for the week, and it makes the world of difference. It's also about working on like the most important things versus the most urgent things. I have found when I am too responsive, when I'm too on top of email or too on top of Facebook, I'm not doing anyone any good. I'm not working on my business like the most, we could spend all time responding, but how about you just respond, during 10 and 11 o'clock, maybe 3 and 4. And it's about creating these really enjoyable routines. Like I said, how I start my morning, so enjoyable. And do I believe that by doing that enjoyable routine in the morning, and doing it consistently, that I will be worlds ahead at the end of the year than if I didn't do that? Yeah. So what could be some of those enjoyable routines for you? It's about figuring that out. And like I mentioned, it's about putting those boundaries around your time, right? Being too responsive is counterproductive, can rob you of your peace, can empty your own bucket. And it's about managing our stuff, right? Processing emails, getting them down to 0. If any of you are feeling overwhelmed when it comes to that, I encourage you to read a book by David Allen called Getting Things Done. You might have heard of it. I'm a big believer in getting things done. And it's about I'm not naturally neat, let me just tell you. I mean, by the end of the week, I have papers all over the place, right? So it's just a matter of gathering them, putting them in a physical inbox, and getting current. Just going through each sheet and saying, do I need to do anything with this or not? If so, what? And if not, let me get rid of it. So it's just a couple of simple systems that when we can get in place, we'll get out of that overwhelm. And it's about our repetitive tasks. I mean, it's about figuring out what are those things you do repetitively. Like, what do you do every time you have a new client? What do you do every time you go to a networking event? What do you do every time you do a webinar? And you probably won't have a ton of repetitive tasks, but you'll have repetitive tasks. And just capture them in a Word document. Capture your processes. What do you do? And then what? And then what? And then what? A lot of times what I like to do is when I have that down on paper, I use the free recording called Jing, J-I-N-G, where you get audio and screenshot of what's on your computer, and I just go through the process. And I'm specifically talking to my virtual assistant and saying, okay, and if you can help with this part, and here's how you do it, and that's it. I send her that recording. So once you have that process, not only does it help you sort of take a look through the flow, analyze it, streamline it, but it's great to see what you could start automating and outsourcing. Okay? So ladies, you can have all the money and clients you want. It's about clearing out that gunk and figuring out sort of this daily practice where you're strengthening your mindset. You can have your dream practice. You can, figuring out what does that look like? What does that perfect ideal day look like, and how do you hold on to that picture over and over and over again? You can have the mechanics of a six-figure practice, getting that profit funnel up and running. It's a lot easier than you think. It's step by step by step by step, but it's actually implementing it in this cohesive plan. And lastly, with just a couple of systems, your business can truly run like a well-oiled machine. So again, hopefully you can see this possibility. Hopefully you're hearing me say that there's no need for you to struggle anymore. Again, if you are good at your craft, if you help folks get transformations, you've been working with your clients and getting good results, if you're open to the thought, the possibility of this high-end offer, and really thinking outside the box and getting creative about what that mountaintop would look like for your client and how you can get them there, I am super confident you can build a six-figure practice in 6 months. I am confident. But let's finish this conversation, because maybe you're like, yeah, Claire, I don't see it for myself. Maybe for you and your other clients, but I don't see it for myself. So I'd love to hop on the phone. Just go to talkwithclaire.com, super casual, no obligation. It's like my greatest joy to be able to talk with another businesswoman, breathe belief into you, sort of see where you're at now, where you want to be, and brainstorm some ways to get you there. Because again, this is what it's about. You can have a strong mindset where you're like, this is a done deal. This is a done deal, and you're spending the majority of your time. Remember that slide on the left-hand side where you've got faith it's a done deal. You're believing, you positive expectation. You might not know how or when, but you know it's a done deal. And then you've got the three main parts of a profit funnel up and running, and you've got these six-figure systems for more ease and more free time. So again, let's get you there. Forget about the 5-year journey. Forget about that, because way too many people give up that mountain in those 5 years. They start running off the mountain. Forget it. I'm going back and get a job. Don't do that. Let's get you there, and let's get you there in the quickest, easiest way. So again, just go to talkwithclaire.com, completely complimentary. Let's just hop on the phone and let's talk about how to get you up to the top of the mountain. All right, ladies. Again, I just appreciate you getting on the call and your attention and everything. We are going to go ahead and get the recording out to you. So you'll get an email from me. Again, if you think of any questions, just hit reply. I don't see any specific questions in the chat function, but I know it's not always easy. You might not feel comfortable asking on the chat function, but either reply to that email or sign up for a time for us to hop on the phone. My virtual assistant will get that, and she'll easily find a day and time that works for both of us. We can just hop on the phone and talk about how to get your business to 6 figures in 6 months. So ladies, you have a great, great day, and thanks so much for your participation. Thanks for being here when you're super busy, and we will definitely talk soon. All right? Bye, everyone.